Strider, did enemies make these paths to Weathertop?
No, this path was made to serve the watchtower of Amonsul that once stood upon its top. It was burned and broken by a terrible enemy, who is now but a servant of the enemy we face. It is told that Elendil stood there watching for the coming of Gil-galad out of the west.
When was that?
Long ago, in the days of the last alliance between men and elves.
And who was Gil-galad?
The year is 87. A German electronic music composer gives Euronymous an unreleased track to be used as the intro of Death Crush. This event and a couple of others marks the beginning of a tradition where bands use non-black metal intros and outros for their albums. By 94, most iconic black metal albums have been released. Euronymous and Dead are dead. Varg and many others are in jail. Black metal is trendy. What is left from the original scene embraces experimentation more and more. A certain Emperor bass player quits the band and starts a project called Mortis. Ishan himself joins Satyr on Von Graven, and Fenris starts Neptune Towers. Things start taking shape. They all play what was then simply called keyboard music, but now widely known as dungeon synth. Fjelltronen is the only album Sigurd ever released under the Von Graven moniker. 32 minutes of pure beauty. No other way to describe it. While it is divided into numerous tracks, it actually flows like a single piece, with mountains and valleys, of course. A soundscape. Like a friend of mine says, artists like Wagner were metal before metal existed. And it's the case of Theodor Kittelsen because his paintings have been used in black metal many times and as the cover of Fjelltronen. While Satyr was into the folk medieval side of things, and many projects of course come to mind in that vein, nothing I've heard surpasses that record. Fenris, on the other hand, was trying to communicate with DMT entities, like clearly shown by Maxwell here.
Oui, Fenris a essayé plusieurs fois de rentrer en contact avec des extraterrestres, mais en vain. Quoique parfois, on pourrait croire qu'il communique directement avec eux. Ding 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 ding.
Still, they both wrote a little record together, with of course the gorgeous Kari Ruslaten, Storm Nordavind. Just the best folk metal record ever, and that's all really. Not forgetting of course the Isengard project either, but that's for another day. Let's go back to synthesizers and to the other side of Europe actually. Greece, late 90s. The Hellenic scene and sound is one of the most praised in black metal. A small band called Macabre Roman is releasing demos and splits, while Alexandros, one of the founding members, out of nowhere, puts out 2 releases that are basically now worshipped as an old school dungeon synth gem. the Corvus Nebulus legend is born.
My dear sweet traveler, please. We burgomasters are called by our titles. I expect you will make my home yours while you are here, in the name of Lord Strahd, who is the humblest I am. Please relax. Enjoy.
Dungeon Synth can be many things, and one of its forms is the RPG fantasy inspired one. Be it Tolkien, Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, European legends and myths. Some even create their own universe. Corvus Nebulus, in the other hand, is heavily influenced by the Ravenloft campaign setting for D&D, and is one of the best things I've ever heard. I'm getting emotional just by talking about it. Strahd's position sounds like it was recorded on a dusty organ by a wizard in his crumbling dungeon. I stopped counting how many nights of sleep the samples in the music and the music itself transported my consciousness to an unknown world. Probably some deep forest in Ravenloft.
Ah, Giorgio, greetings. There are a few places in Ravenloft our Bardo caravans haven't seen. That's true enough. We're traders, entertainers, and escorts to the realm. That being said, allow me to act as a merchant. I'll tell you the most excellent destination.
The timeless quality of Corvus Nebulus's music is what I look for the most in Dungeon Synth, and black metal actually too. That is why, back in 2016, I was going back to Burzum's ambient songs every time, until I accidentally found Burzum's spiritual successor. Tales of Old Towers and Forgotten Pathways is a video tribute to all the artists included in this film, Dungeon Synth and beyond. This video was particularly hard to write for the simple fact that I lack words to describe how this music affects me. 6 months, and that's all I could come up with. I hope at least that I made you want to check these releases out. You'll find everything you need in the description box as usual. Once again, thank you for watching.
Horrors you can't imagine stalk our misty alleys. The villagers themselves often vanish at night.